Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating Black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another Black man is like 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together. And then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us. But then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect.
I'm just waiting on us to move on. Like I'm just waiting on us to move on. That's all I got. That's all I got. I don't got nothing else for you, honey. I don't have nothing else. It's time for you to do something about it. I'm tired of the complaining, the bitching. It's every week. Listen, do something about it. Okay? You can do something about it, but you need to do something about it. And I don't know what it's going to take at this point. I know for some women, it's like they got to be put through complete hell for them to be like, okay, let me go ahead and do something about it. Y'all gonna wait forever and miss your life. Like, you're gonna miss out on your life waiting for something to happen. You just don't understand how you have to be the change in order for you to get what you want. And it's really that simple. But the more you try to hold on and hope for some miracle, it's not coming. It's not coming. The way that it works is, and I talked about this on my spiritual tier, you have to put yourself in a position to receive what you want. Okay? So what does that mean? Well, Yanie don't hang out at the club. The hell am I in the club for? I don't go to the club in the hood. Oh, it's free before what, 11? You won't catch me in there. You're not going to catch me in there. The hell am I in there for? Those are the same places that you meet men who use those spaces for what? Escapism. Ooh, so what does that lead to? Men being emotionally unavailable. Why in the hell would I go to a club? I ain't going to no club. You will not catch me in a club. Honestly, I don't want to go to no events where it's like past midnight. If it's past midnight, I'm not going. It's like stuff like that. Learn how to change to put yourself in a position to receive what you're asking for. It's that simple. Clubs free before 11, it's a hell no. I like to go to events where it actually costs to get in. If I'm a woman, I have to pay. It is what it is. I don't care. I would rather be in an environment like that than an environment where it's ladies in free before 11, and then the men that go to the clubs, they just in there to escape their problems, their emotional issues. No, like I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm really good on that because I already know what it's going to be. There are so many other options out here. You got coffee shops. Thank you, Afro Butterfly. Coffee shops, conferences, networking mixers. Girl, Eventbrite should be your best friend. You know, like, I just don't understand it. Like, stop hanging out in places where you're not getting what you want. You're not getting the experience that you want. Anywhere where escapism can be used, you will not catch me in there talking about, oh yeah, girl, I'm trying to meet my man in here It's a hell no. Now, listen, I like Black people. I like my culture. I like my music. I like my food because that's who I am, right? But when I step into these environments, it's to have fun, not to meet a man, not to date a man. It's just to have fun because I do like my people, right? I do. But we have our issues. And I'm not willing to put up with that. So because of that, if I step into these spots, it's to have a good time, like I'm in a barbecue or a cookout. And it's just that simple. And then I go home. And it's just that simple. Stop making your life harder than what it has to be. Put yourself in a better position to receive the results that you want. But if you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're not opening up your options, you're not being open-minded, you're not really putting yourself out of your comfort zone, you're not going to get what you want. You're just going to be stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again, over and over and over again, over and over and over again, and then complaining about it. And I'm just like, listen, if you want something new, you have to try something new. If you want something different, you have to try something different. I feel like Black women, you need to just open up your options. Okay. Stay out of the hood spots. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Stay out of the hood spots. Okay. Stay out of the hood spots. Typically, when we think about hood spots, it is connected to a poverty mindset. The man could have money, right? But he has a poverty mindset. Stay out of the hood spots. The hood spots don't benefit you. And it's just really that simple. It's like, it's time for you to step outside of your comfort zone so we don't have to keep having these conversations. I'm not going to tell you to just date non-Black men. I'm going to tell you to open up your options. Open up your options. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. Open up your options. And one thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this TikTok video, this woman, she was talking about emotional issues with Black men. We know that a lot of them have emotional issues. You're aware that they have emotional issues. So my deal breaker when it comes to dating a Black man is simply this. If he's not in therapy, it's a hell no. It's a hell no. It's a hell no. If he's not in therapy, it's a hell no. I'm not dating someone that I know for a fact has emotional issues, emotional trauma, because we come from the same community. I went to therapy. I got the help that I need. He needs to be on that. If he ain't on that, which that's going to be 95% of them, let's be real. Let's be real. They're not going to therapy. They're not trying to work on their issues. They're not trying to work on their problems. So unfortunately, that puts them at the very bottom when it comes to prospects. It puts them at the very bottom when it comes to prospects. Simply because in my lineup, they don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to go to therapy. Is that my problem? No, it's their problem. So I don't get it. We all come from the same community. So since we all come from the same community, we know we have emotional issues. Your mama got them. Your daddy got them. Your grandmother got them. Your grandfather got them. Your siblings got them. Your uncle, your aunties got them. So if you know that, why date a man that ain't been to therapy? Why date a man from the same community that you come from that has not gone to therapy? It does not make sense. You're going to get the same results. You want to know why? Because the Black community is stuck in a cycle. The Black community is stuck in a cycle where it's nothing but emotional issues, trauma, emotional unavailability. It's both men and women, right? And so in order for you to break that cycle, it's going to require you to change your standards and to do something different. So my standard is, if he has not gone to therapy, it's a hell no. And I'm not talking about, oh, I asked him and he did a few sessions. Hell no. Then once we get past therapy, is he financially on the same level as you? Is he? Is he financially on the same level as you? I don't know about your father. I don't know if your father was around, but this is what my father told me. A man should never take you away from your family if they're not able to provide the lifestyle that you grew up in. They should not take you away from your family if they are not able to provide the lifestyle that you were raised in. And it's just that simple. So depending on how you grew up, he either needs to match that or better. But it should never be below. It should never, because it's actually disrespectful to your entire bloodline, to your entire family line of sacrifices. It's disrespectful for you to go out here and marry a man that cannot match what you were raised into or better. It's very disrespectful. It's disrespectful to your ancestors. It's disrespectful to your parents. It's disrespectful to anyone that has made sacrifices for you to be put in a position for you to be set up in a way for you to receive a better life. It just is super disrespectful. So I don't know why Black people are not talking about that. But my dad always told me that if I came home and I brought a man home and my dad is like, okay, like, let me vet this man, and he cannot provide the same lifestyle that my dad made sacrifices for to give me, he's going to be mad as hell. He's going to be pissed. And this is why a lot of girls are targeted who don't have dads, because you don't know that. You don't even know that you should even be thinking that way. You don't know that. I wasn't even thinking that way until my dad brought it to my attention. Don't bring no man in my house talking about he trying to marry you and he cannot offer you the same lifestyle that I sacrificed for. That's disrespectful to me, my manhood, how I provided for you. You are my responsibility. So if you want me to be on board with this marriage, he needs to provide for you in the way that I did or better. And it's just that simple. This shouldn't even be a conversation for debate. It's embarrassing. And the fact that the Black community want to have this debate online, but then want to talk about generational curses and creating generational wealth. Are y'all not embarrassed? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So you need to understand that if you did not have a father, he should have told you this. Sadly, he should have been there providing for you. And see, that's why a lot of these men, they get to somehow get out of accountability and expectations because the daddy wasn't there to begin with. He was never there. So you don't know that. You don't even know that you're supposed to vet in that way. A man is never supposed to take you away from your family if he cannot provide the lifestyle that you grew up in. That's common sense. That should be a cultural norm. It's a cultural norm for all these other cultures out here. It's a cultural expectation. As soon as that man walks up to that front door to meet your family, that's an expectation. And if your dad is vetting a man, do you not think that he's going to ask him about what he's providing for you financially? Oh, he is. He is. He is. That's your daddy's job. Your father's job is to vet that man. Because when he gets up there at the altar and he says, you know what? Who gives this woman away? Your father is supposed to say, I do. And with him doing that, he is trusting that man to take care of you in the same way that he did or better. But because the daddies ain't in the home, a lot of these men, they get to run off and do what they want to do and not be held accountable. So think about this before you decide to have kids. Think about this before you lay down and you over here like, he wants me to have his baby. He wants me to have his baby. It's a hell no. It's a no. Things are out of order. So when things are out of order, things become dysfunctional. It was supposed to be in that order for a reason. So we need to get back to that order because a lot of these men just, they don't have no accountability. There's no one there to really hold them accountable because the daddy ain't there. The man ain't in the home. He not even in the home to do his job when it comes to courting and vetting and when it comes to dating and relationships. So you have to understand that this conversation is embarrassing. The Black community should be embarrassed. We're always trying to coach women into setting themselves up to fail. What sense does that make? We also do it to the kids. We do it to the children in the community as well. We want them to move out as soon as they turn 18, or better yet, when they go off to college. Do you think that we help them financially? No, we're like, oh, you need to get a job. You need to do this. You need to do that. And then we set them further back. We're not setting them to go further ahead or setting them up to where they can get further ahead. We're setting them back and then expected for them to go through what we went through in hopes that somehow they make it out. That doesn't make sense. The Black community is obsessed with setting people up to fail so that they are forced to prove themselves, as if the sacrifices that were made were not good enough. It does not make sense. It's backwards. And this is why we're stuck. This is why, as a community, we are stuck. So at some point, you got to separate yourself. You got to focus on yourself. Black women got to stay offline having discussions about their standards. Your standards are for no one. They are for yourself. You need to stop seeking outside validation. You know what you deserve. You know. And my rule of thumb when it comes to this conversation, is don't ask of things that you cannot give yourself. It's really that simple. So, prime example, you want emotional availability. Are you emotional available? Are you emotionally available? Are you? You can't ask a man to be emotionally available if you're not. It doesn't make sense. Are you emotionally stable? That's how you go about it. Because that entitlement goes right out the window. If everything you can ask of yourself, right, you should be able to ask of a man. And it's really that simple, because you're meeting someone of your equal. But if you're not at that point yet, then you need to do some work on yourself. You need to go do some work on yourself so that you, once again, my rule of thumb is this: you build yourself up to put yourself in a position to receive. So if you want a emotionally intelligent, emotionally available man, you need to work on yourself to put yourself in that position. And it's really that simple. No man can be out here talking about, oh, you're entitled. Everything that you're asking of, you can offer yourself. So it shouldn't be, oh, she's entitled. How am I entitled when the very thing that I'm asking of you, I can give myself? And it's really that simple. So if you are wanting a hard worker, I'm assuming you're a hard worker. If you're wanting someone that is college educated, I'm assuming you're college educated or educated, whatever. Make sure that you're doing the work on yourself so that you can put yourself in a better position. But to say that Black women are entitled, that's crazy to me. That is insane to me. That is insane to me. Yes, the youth can break the generational curse. Yes. And I'm rooting for Gen Z, because it's sad that Gen Z is kind of put in a position where it's almost like it's required for them to clean up the mess. And I really don't want the Gen Z girlies to take that approach. I really want you to focus on yourself, because that was the approach that the previous generations took. And girl, it was a waste of time. So you need to focus on yourself. Okay? Because you trying to save, it ain't your job. It's not your job. You need to work on yourself. It's not your job to save the community. It's not. And the previous generation thought that it was their job, and it's not. So if you want to lead the way by focusing on yourself. Lead the way by breaking generational curses within yourself. If you want to lead the way, create the change within yourself. Focus on yourself. Stop trying to do this group project. It's bigger than you. So the only way that you can truly make some change and make way, you gotta do it for you. The community is never going to improve until we start to focus on ourselves. And if every person would just look in the mirror and better themselves, the community, it would improve overnight. But we're always trying to include this person and this person. Listen, some people don't want to change. There are plenty of people out in the world that don't feel like changing is something that they need to do. So I don't. Like, millennials, we did the best that we could as far as trying to normalize mental health and trying to normalize getting therapy and stuff like that. But Gen Z, I'm going to tell you where millennials went wrong. We tried to include everybody. We tried to get everybody on board. That did not work. So you need to focus on yourself. And that's it. That is it. You can't save everybody, because we used to think that way. We used to think, oh, we can save people. Oh, we can save them. We can heal them. We can fix them. No, you can't. It's not your job. So let it go. But I'm rooting for Gen Z, because there's so many possibilities, but you got to be open-minded. And on that note, I'm logging out because I need to go work out. I need to let off some steam, because this situation really pissed me off. That spiritual word comment really pissed me off. So I need to go release some aggression in the gym, because I'm irritated. Like, never in my life have I ever seen a community that truly sets people up to fail time and time and time again. If it's not the kids, then it's the women. And then in some cases, it's the men as well. Like, this community is obsessed with setting people up to fail. And it gives crab in the bucket mentality. And I'm just really tired of seeing it. Because, and it's weird to see the men praise this type of stuff, because it doesn't put you in a better position when it comes to other men. It puts you in a worse position when it comes to other men. And it's like, you're the only community of men that have a group of women that are really putting in the work financially. Yet instead of you trying to match that, you want her to date down. You want her to date beneath what she's worked her ass off for. And they don't see how the community could truly improve overnight if they were to match what Black women have been doing in the community. Like, you would outdo the men in other communities simply because your women are in a position doing way more than the majority of the other women in the other communities, in the other cultures. But instead, because you're just trying to keep up with your women, you're not competing with the men outside of the community. So they're farther ahead of you just based off of them just doing what they do as men, right? But you don't see it that way. You see it because you're only concerned about your women. You see your women in the position that they're in with being educated and accomplished, which is just really embarrassing to me. You see that as a threat. It's ridiculous. And I get why you see it as a threat. I do. I get why you see a woman having a degree, being intellectual, and being a well-rounded woman. She has accomplishments. I understand why you see that as a threat. I do. But you can actually get yourself out of this position, but you have to want to. And it's really that simple. Like, this is so embarrassing. Like, I don't understand it. It's really embarrassing. It's pathetic. It gives lazy. It gives lazy. And y'all know how I feel about laziness.